Hello again. The idea of police officers of differing ethnicities who work together as partners is an old standby of American films and television. We remember In the Heat of the Night with Sidney Poitier, Magnum Force with Clint Eastwood, Lethal Weapon with Mel Gibson and Danny Glover, Witness with Harrison Ford. In the United States, where there are very many black police officers, this may well be a realistic portrayal of the real world of policing. In Britain, where only around 1% of police officers are black, it's far less plausible. Nevertheless, every single police series on the television these days in Britain has to feature a pair of interracial buddies. More than that, there often has to be a senior police officer over them who is also black. And of course, frequently a woman too. Frankly, this just looks absurd and unrealistic. This evening, a new police series begins on ITV called Grace. It's set in Brighton. It features John Sim as a detective. His partner is, of course, a black man. His boss, the assistant chief constable, is a black woman. This is so ludicrous. In the description to this video, I give a link to the government statistics on the ethnic composition of the police in England and Wales. This new series is set in Sussex, and consulting the figures, we find that just 1% of the police in that county are black. Most of these are constables, of course. The odds of a detective sergeant being black are accordingly hundreds to one against, and the odds of an assistant chief constable being both black and a woman are incalculably greater than that. Of course, John Sim is well known for an earlier police series, Life on Mars. His boss in the modern day in that series was, of course, also a black person. Another British police series set in Bath was on recently called MacDonald and Dodds. It features another black woman detective chief inspector. Tomorrow night, the ITV police series Unforgotten is on. It features a female detective assisted by an Indian sergeant. Line of Duty has featured two senior black police officers, one of whom was a woman. This obsession with portraying the police as full of black and Asian officers is also noticeable on soap operas. In EastEnders and Coronation Street, if two police officers are featured, at least one of them will be from a visible minority and the other a woman. As I say, according to the statistics, the chances of seeing a black police officer are at least 100 to 1. There's a slightly higher number of officers of South Asian origin, but outside London and the big cities, the odds are at least 50 to 1 of encountering one. I'm not altogether sure what the motive for this is. Of course, these dramas are fiction, but they all supposedly take place in the real world which we inhabit. They're none of them set in an alternative universe. There's obviously there's a tendency, as I said at the beginning, for the British to copy American programs. That's been going on for a long time. It may be that they show the police as being so ethnically diverse because they hope to sell these series on the American market at some point and feel that this would look better. I can't think that they are actually actively trying to prepare us for our replacement by black people and Asians, unless there really is a sinister conspiracy at work of which I'm unaware. It's not just senior police officers who have a disconcerting habit of being cast as being black in British programmes these days. This is a trend which is very widespread. The police are committed to the practice of increasing diversity in their workers. They are pledged to offer more opportunities for black people and so have to create roles for them. The result is that dramas set in Britain do begin to resemble a weird and unrecognisable alternative universe one in which chief constables are black women as well as half the detectives under her. This does rather detract from the enjoyment of viewers who want to see something a bit more realistic when they watch the modern day equivalent of Z cars.